Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the TheBINPodcast. This is episode number 42, and today is a special day. Not because we are missing our co-host, Isaiah. Sadly, he is gone right now doing family stuff, and we're not sure when he will be back. Hopefully, he'll be back soon. But today's a good day because my Milwaukee Bucks beat the Brooklyn Nets in a 7-game series, and I'm happy about it. But MG, how is your day going right now?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. But hello everyone watching this podcast.
On the premiere?
You all, yeah, the premiere chat. What's up with y'all, man? Look, we got a lot to talk about today. Obviously, we're missing one of our co-hosts, Isaiah Faithful, and it honestly sucks when we miss any of the co-hosts.
It
But
does. It
we're
honestly does. Like, I hope he comes back soon. I hope he's back for next
yep,
week's episode, but we'll see.
yep, we'll see sooner rather than later. But yep. So we got a
Ah.
lot to talk about, man. But before we get into any, basketball talk or anything.
Oh, I know what's coming.
Uh, we have to address the elephant in the room. I mean, I think the elephant in the room is about 250 feet tall, or no, 260 feet tall at the time of this recording, because someone in this chat has 260 subscribers and gained over 100 subs today,
His
and
name
it's
is
not
John
me.
Cena.
His name is John Cena. Well, someone right now that's recording this podcast is at 260 subscribers and gained over 100 subs
I
today.
wonder
That's
who
not
has
me.
it.
I,
I'm what?
I I wonder who
Yeah, I
that guy
wonder
is
who
because
that is.
it isn't me because I passed 200, so and
Yeah.
Isaiah isn't here. So B, how do you feel, man? 260 subs, gain over 100 subs today, and the Bucks gonna win. How is it feeling right now?
When I went into that stream today, I was not even expecting any of that to happen. I was hoping for a Bucks win, but was I expecting it? No, because we sucked so much. But getting that win first off, and then at
Yeah,
halftime, getting rated by Rocha, giving it to 141 subs, which is
yep.
a shout out to Rocha. Thank you so much. And then after the game, after Durant missed that game winner, right as I realized, holy shit, we won freaking out, I looked over at my monitor and I saw a raid from Josh and Sean. And that got me from 141 to 260. So shout out to Josh and Sean. I just want to say a big thank you to them and another thank you to UMG and Isaiah for pushing me along, giving me advice along the way, just making my channel better. Because if I don't think I would have the 260 subs I have now if you guys haven't helped me out. Same with Josh, Sean, Rocha, and especially sir. So I just want to say thank you.
Hey, bro, let's keep it up, bro. It's time that we all love doing this and we all have fun. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be it's just great to see everyone have a good time and everyone get their fair share of success and you know to you and to everyone who's a content creator, especially in the sports world.
Yeah.
Just hopefully we all grow, man. Everyone that I do know in the sports content creator world, I hope everyone succeeds. But
Yeah, same here. I just want to say I had a sped moment. So right now I'm writing down the timestamps for you guys to make it easier, like through the editing phase and shit. And I wrote
mhm.
down the actual time here in Wisconsin instead of the time that was recorded. I just want to point that out.
All right. Well, before we get into playoff talk, make sure you put L for B Christensen in the
L in the
chat.
chat for me.
All right.
But
In the premier chat.
anyways, we
Let's talk
had
about some
some big.
basketball.
Yeah, let's get some basketball in here. We had something big. We had a
Yep.
trade. I was on here to see it. I heard it from. No, first off, no. Let's go in order. First thing, we had some bad news on Thursday. I mean, Wednesday. We had some bad news with Chris Paul getting COVID and Kawhi Leonard's ACL. MG, you want to speak on this?
Well, Chris Paul was a breakthrough case. He was fully vaccinated. Still somehow managed to catch the virus. Now I'm not about to sit here and have a whole 2 hour argument on if the vaccine works or not. The fact that he got COVID sucks. And he is already ruled out for game one, as well as Kawhi Leonard. he's also ruled out for game one. Now he didn't tear his ACL, so it's not like he's 100% out for the
Yeah,
season. But he has been ruled out for game one as well. Still in LA, getting treatment by doctors. So those two guys won't play, and it sucks, man. I mean, because their teams are about to face off in a series, and as good as the Clippers look without Kawhi, it is Kawhi Leonard, and you would love to have him right now, especially with Paul George doing well. And we'll talk about Paul George a little bit here soon, but it just sucks to see, these two amazing players and key players to their team just get injured, man.
I agree. It totally sucks. Like just seeing it and then they just get injured. It's just awful. Like you never want someone to get injured. Never. Like it's
Yeah.
rough. And luckily for Kawhi, it isn't a torn ACL. That's the good news about it. And Chris Paul, him getting COVID, that's like probably once in a million because he was fully vaccinated and then he just gets COVID.
Mm-mm.
It just sucks to see this happen to these two teams, with the Clippers being the Clippers and the Suns actually going to the conference final for the first time in forever, and their two star players are down. But we'll see if Booker, who will step up, Booker or Paul George. We'll see, and we'll get into that later. Anything else you want to say about this, MG?
Um, it just sucks, but we also have a trade to announce.
Yes.
We have a trade to announce. Kemba Walker has been traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Thunder will be getting Moses Brown, and they also will be receiving a guy who is a familiar face in the Boston Celtics uniform, and that's Al Horford. I'll start off by saying this. I mean, look, at Boston, they got a center, and I think Tristan Thompson leaves Boston this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I guess you get a center, and you know how Boston, ever since Al Horford left the first time, they've had bad center play, especially against
Yeah.
the better centers in the league. They just tend to have very bad center play. They sometimes, have a little bit smaller lineups here and there. Got rid of Daniel Tice, who was playing decent at center for
I
them for
know.
the last year and a
Like,
half.
I remember, like, Daniel Tice, when they got rid of him, like, at the trade deadline, they recently lost to the Bucks. He missed the game winner. I said, Boston doesn't like how he missed the game winner. Off you go. And I knew they messed up from there. I knew they messed up game winner Tice. They should have got rid of Thompson yeah, they should have got rid of Thompson instead of him.
Yeah, but they do get a guy that they know very well, Al Horford.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting, man. But Kemba Walker, OKC, man. This is gonna be interesting. You got SGA there. You got a million draft picks. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they build that team.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people are saying that Kemba actually could get traded again, and this might
Really?
not be his final trade destination. A lot of people are saying that it's the teams that might target Kemba. Kemba doesn't want to play in OKC or whatever. So it's going to be interesting. Can you see a guy get traded twice? I mean, it happened last year in
George
the
Hill.
offseason.
George Hill.
George Hill. It happened also to Kelly Oubre.
Yeah.
So it's
I
going
was
to be
like,
interesting, man.
the double trades for players confuse me because it's like George. I knew George Hill. No, George Hill got traded 3 times because we originally sent him to New Orleans. Then
Uh-huh.
New Orleans sent him to OKC, and then OKC
OKC.
sent him to you.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting.
It is,
If
and
a guy gets traded more than once.
for me, I think the winner of this trade was OKC because they got Kemba Walker, like a decent point guard, and a pick out of it. A second round, it's not one of their fucking 18 first rounds, but still, they got a second, did not even have to give up a first or a second themselves. And they got rid of Al Horford, who wasn't good for them this year, and who was the other guy?
Moses Brown. I mean, Moses Brown's okay.
He's okay for Kemba Walker, who is a decent point guard and a pick. I think it OKC won it on paper, but for both teams, I think it's a win because Boston gets their center that they need back. But I think they could have gotten a better one. That's just me. I think both teams won it, but
I mean, maybe they could have gotten a guy like Drummond this offseason, but
yeah,
hey, man, get a guy who you know. Get a
Exactly.
guy who
Who
you know,
you
I
know
guess. I'm.
and fits your scheme. And I'm surprised
Hmm.
they're. I'm saying this now. Next year, Boston's going to make the playoffs, lose in the first round. Their coach is going to get fired.
Well, they are about to hire a new coach because their
Wait,
coach that they had is now the GM.
wait, they made him
So,
the GM. Oh my gosh, Boston.
rest. Yeah. So
Well, the
that's
GM's.
interesting. Well, that just goes to show how long we've posted on the Bincast because Brad Stevens became a GM the last time we posted,
Yeah,
I
we
believe.
haven't posted in a while, so give me a break, people. Give me a break. But
Nah. So, we
but
got
let's
a
let's head into some playoffs. We had some
playoff.
good playoff series in the division.
A
I think this is the best divisional round I have ever seen. I'm very excited for it. Like very.
round two. Round
Let's
two. We
start
got.
off. Let's start off. Let's go in order. Let's
Yep.
just touch up on Suns swept the
How,
Nuggets.
yo, bro. I ain't gonna be real. I forgot about that series because it ended so quick. I thought we were about to, because you still start for war. I thought we were about to tell about the Clippers series, but
No,
the Suns swept the Nuggets so fast. I forgot that that series was in the
I
second
don't.
round. I keep thinking,
I don't even
I
think.
just forgot, bro.
I think they're in game 2 or 1 when we last uploaded. That just shows you how good
Oh,
Devin Booker was. And a lot
yeah.
of curses have been broke this division round to begin with. The Jenner curse, the Wisconsin curse. We'll get in more into the Wisconsin curse and my thoughts about it when we hit the Bucks. The Clipper curse, that's been broken. Like all these curses everyone thought is broken. The process might be broken this tomorrow, like the day of this. Like there's so many curses that are being broken and I love to see it.
Hey, if we
But
make it to conference finals,
hey, if we make it
hey,
to
we'll talk.
conference,
We'll
we'll
talk
talk
about
about
that
it. We'll
later,
talk
man.
about it later. But
Uh,
but this series showed me. I don't think. I think Jokic MVP season was a fluke. I think it'll be a fluke. I do. Because he
I
is
mean,
nothing by himself. An MVP player is a player who can take the team on his back when the team needs him. I don't think Jokic is that player that can carry like Giannis, Embiid, KD, Steph, LeBron. He's not one of those players. I'm saying this now. Jokic MVP season was a fluke.
I mean, I don't think it was a full on fluke, but I don't think he'll have. Oh my god, I don't think he'll have a season like this
I don't. To be honest,
again if the Nuggets don't stay healthy.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't. I would have had Joel Embiid winning it if Jamal Murray never got injured. I think Jamal Murray would have became the star of the show in the second half if he never got injured.
Yeah, that too. And I mean, the thing about Jokic is, I mean, you bring up the carrying the team on his back. I mean, I know this was only one season, so it's gonna kind of be hard for me to say this. But when the last time we seen them in the playoffs fully healthy, Jamal Murray was the star of the show in the playoffs. So maybe Jamal Murray was just a playoff guy and he got hurt. But I don't know, man. I don't think Jokic will have. I, I think he's a good player, right? He'll
Yeah,
obviously still have amazing seasons. I mean, that's what good players do. I don't think he'll win the MVP again.
like I said,
I
fluke.
don't. I don't know if it's a fluke, but I don't think he'll win MVP again though.
I'm
And
still
the Suns
taking Joel Embiid over
also
him in the center race, though.
also too, he did, and this is not taking credit from him, like
Wait,
he won the MVP, but he did win the MVP in a year with a lot of injuries.
he did,
Uh,
and COVID
LeBron
let
James
people
was
out.
injured. Anthony Davis was injured for a while. KD was out for a good amount of time. Harden was
Harden was
out.
out.
A lot of the guys
Yeah,
that were once in the MVP race with him got injured, so he just ran away with it. But
he stayed
it's
healthy.
gonna be.
But
Yep.
I'm saying
So
next year he's not winning it. I don't even think he'll be top 10 next year.
in the
I'm
MVP
that
voting.
confident by my take. I'm not impressed by Jokic. Ever since I saw Jokic versus the Bucks like G League squad and he almost lost, that's when I just like knew, nah, he isn't that like he's overhyped. I think he's overrated.
Well,
That's
I
just
think a
me
lot of
though.
people might disagree with you in
Oh,
the
I'm gonna
chat.
get hated by Broncos fans, and I mean not Broncos fan, Nuggets fan. But
Nuggets,
I don't
yeah,
give a fuck. Jokic is overrated. But let's head into the L.A. Clippers. They beat
yeah,
the Clippers, coming back down 2-0 to the Utah Jazz and winning.
yeah. The Clippers, they get the win. They defeated the quote unquote Clipper curse, as you know, a lot of the Lakers fans like to use it against them. Was the curse of them not making the conference finals. Well, they did that. The Clippers completely shut down this curse that a lot of people thought they had of making the conference finals, and Paul George was a big reason why. I mean, Paul George, he had a lot of pressure. He had to take on the load when Kawhi got injured,
Game
and he
six and
did
game five and
exactly
no
that.
5 and 6. 5 and 6 was the games he
He
took on.
Yep, five in Game 6, and I believe he averaged 29 points per game this series. He's had a few 30-point game this series, so he just he did what he had to do when they needed him the most. They needed him in Game 5 to steal that game in Utah. He did that, and they needed him to close it out in Game 6. And also another guy, Terrence Mann, I believe had 40 points for the Clippers yesterday. I know a lot of people before the season started didn't even know who Terrence Mann was. Well, he's a guy who came off the bench most of the season for the Clippers, and he's stepping up now in a big role. Like I said, when Kawhi got injured, some guys on this team had to step up. Terrence Mann was one of those guys who stepped up. Also, Reggie Jackson had a pretty good series. So, it is what it is. The Clippers win it, and they have a game against the Suns. So,
They have a
and we'll talk
date.
about that here in a second.
Hey,
Oh, by the way,
they
by the
have a
time this podcast is posted, they might already be playing the Suns or already did. We're recording this before Game 1, but this might be
yes.
posted. So, if we give our prediction for Game 1 this episode, just know it was before
Yeah.
Game 1.
We'll do a prediction for the whole series. We'll do that after we break down the divisional rounds.
Yep.
But my thoughts on this series. Holy shit, playoff P. Playoff P. I was not expecting it. Like, when I saw Kawhi went down, I was like, oh, Jazz are going to take away. They're going to win in 6. He
Hmm.
proved me wrong. He proved everyone wrong. And I wasn't rooting for the Clippers because I wanted the Jazz to win for my final sake because I did have the Jazz winning it all. I was wrong. I'll admit that. But Eastern Conference, I'm looking pretty good. But I need the Sixers to win. No, but it's just mind blowing how he played in the last 2 games without Kawhi Leonard. And the question is, I have for you: are the
Yeah.
Clippers better with Paul George by himself, like as the main superstar moving forward, or do you keep Kawhi in playoff P? Because playoff P's been playing better without Kawhi. Do you think it's maybe Kawhi that's holding back Paul George? That's my question for you, MG.
I mean, individually, it's easy to say it now because of what Paul George is doing without Kawhi. And one thing I will say, I don't think it's just Kawhi because I feel like in the playoffs with Oklahoma City, Paul George was next to Russell Westbrook and also didn't perform that well. I mean, Paul George, I think he likes being the main guy more than he
I
likes
agree.
being the second piece, the Robin. I think he actually
I want to
likes the lead
I
role.
want to
I
point this
mean,
out.
hmm
When Russell Westbrook gave up on OKC hits last year,
yeah,
Paul George became known, like, looked to be the future of that team. He did. Because that year, he was in the MVP race with Giannis and Harden. He was third in the voting.
yeah. I mean, he was doing good,
I
but
just want to point that out.
when the
Playoffs
playoffs
came
came
around
around
and
though,
Dame said, fuck you.
so Paul George is like,
I think, like, even from the past, like, even the regular season, when he was in OKC for his last season, I
yeah,
think I think he needs to be the main man there. I think they should do what they're doing. Like, well, not OKC. The Clippers, what the Bucks are doing. Make Paul George known that he's the main man, but get him some all-stars around him, like they do in Milwaukee with Middleton, Holiday, and then like decent players like Lopez, and then Tucker defensively, and then like Youngins and like DiVincenzo, like that. I think that's what the Clippers should do, and I think that's what they need to do if they want to win coming up, or just keep Kawhi, make him the main. Like I don't think these two are working out like they hoped. I don't. I think you gotta keep one and let the other walk.
I mean, the thing with Paul George, you kind of can't let him go because his contract, and I think you'll want to keep Kawhi. But also, what you have to do if you're a Ty Lue, the coach, you gotta, you kind of let these guys take over when it's their time. Like, it's this thing they used to do with the Rockets when they had Harden and Westbrook, right?
Mm-hmm.
They would, after the first 2 minutes of the quarter, they'd sub out Westbrook but keep Harden. And then when they sub Harden out, they put Westbrook in. They have them off the court at different times. So if Harden's on the court, Westbrook is off. If Westbrook on the court, Harden's off. So that way that they can impact the game, and you'll always have a star player in the game. And
Kind of
then when
like,
it obviously
yeah.
comes down to the fourth quarter, they be in the game together. But I think you can maybe try to replicate something like that, because if Paul George is playing well as the main guy and he wants to be the guy controlling things, then
Let
kind
him.
of do something like that, especially with Kawhi being a guy who rests a lot of minutes, and he likes his rest. So
I want
when
to point this
Kawhi's
out too.
resting on the bench,
Yeah.
you gotta maybe let Paul George take over, and then put Paul George on the bench, and then let Kawhi take
Yeah.
over. Also,
Also, before
another
you
thing,
go ahead, then I'll.
another thing about Paul George, when Kawhi's in the game, Paul George, I believe, moves to shooting guard. When Paul George is really a small forward, but when Kawhi's out of the game, Paul George goes back to small forward, which is his more natural position.
Yeah.
So that's another thing to point out. Like, he's going back to his natural position when Kawhi's out the game, and he can do more things with that size that he has at the small forward
And
position.
isn't Paul George younger than Kawhi too?
They might be around the same age. I think he might be. I think they are like a year apart, but they're practically like in the same age
I
group.
want to say this: if you're the Clippers, this is what I think they should do. I think they should let Kawhi walk, put Paul George as the small forward, and with the money you would save from letting Kawhi walk, add key pieces like add Drummond, add like these star players, add Schroeder, add like these star players, and then like improve your team more. Make some trades, not Dame, trade for like these like CJ McCollum's, trade for these like
Well,
all-star players.
they kind of can't trade for anyone because they have no picks.
Yeah, but like they could trade players. Is what I'm saying for these all-star and then do what the Bucks did basically. We got rid of our whole bench for Drew Holiday, and we just signed our bench and look at what it did. Like
I mean,
I think that's what the Clippers should do.
I think you have to keep Kawhi at any means possible, though.
I disagree with that. That's just me though.
I mean, why wouldn't you keep that guy? Like I said, I mean, and when you got Kawhi and Paul George, like I said, and also too,
Wait.
when
Before you go, I just saw something. Who's their power forward? I forgot.
sometimes Morris, sometimes Batum starts there.
Why not do this? Let Paul George be small and put Kawhi at power, because Kawhi can do power forward, I believe.
I think Paul George also played a little bit of power forward in the
Like
end. I'm
let
not
one of
sure
them be
about
power forward. Don't try and force like one of them to play a position they're not comfortable with. I bet you Paul George would be more comfortable at power.
that. Than shooting guard.
Yeah, like let him do that.
Yeah, I mean, there's many ways for Kawhi and Paul George to fit.
But hey, only time can tell.
Yep.
But now, the Milwaukee Bucks, they did something I was not expecting. after going down. The Bucks versus Nets. Let's talk about that. Bucks.
The Milwaukee Bucks. I had to say this.
Say it.
Brooke Lopez almost sold the game when he got a shot clock violation.
Oh
That
my
was,
gosh, that pissed me off. I'll
and
get into
then
Game
if
7, but I want to talk first off about 1 and 2. Where the fuck were you, Chris Middleton? What the fuck were you doing, Mike Budenholzer? Why was it only fucking Giannis? Okay. Like, Game 1 and 2 was just horrendous performance. Sloppy performance the whole time. Both games. Game 3, I missed. I had graduation. Your boy graduated. He did it. And that game, Middleton stepped up, but we needed other players too, because him and Giannis combined for 79 of our 86 points that game.
Mm-hmm.
And then Game 4, I watched. Had a hangover for it, but I watched.
Mm-hmm.
That was just a great performance all around. Sadly, Kyrie did get injured, but both teams are injured. You should not blame the injury bug for this loss if you're a Nets fan. No. You should blame your team performance. You should blame your bench. You should blame Joe Harris. He was supposed to step up, but he didn't. That's why you lose. Because this is a team game. Not just a one-player game. Or like a three-player game. This is a team game. Basketball is a team game. It's just like football is a team game. Just like baseball is a team game. It's a team game for a reason. If you have a player go down, next man up. Next man up. And that next man was Joe Harris. Joe Harris did not take advantage. Blake Griffin took advantage, but Joe Harris did not. Griffin had a pretty good series, and it pissed me off Game 1. But he had a great series. I got to give it to Blake Griffin. But it's just sad. It's sad when you are known to be like the fourth best player on that team, and yet you can't even show why. You made Blake Griffin look good. You let Blake fucking Griffin take your moment and show why he is better. Like, Joe Harris, where the fuck were you? And I just want to say thank you for not showing up.
I'm about to say, are you complaining as a Bucks fan
No,
that he
I'm
didn't
just saying, like,
well?
it's just going to be something I hear from Nets fans until we are eliminated or we win it. They're going to be like, probably until next season. They're probably going to be like, oh, you only won because of injury. We were injured too. We lost our starting shooting guard, our number two guy, like person at the 2, Dante DiVincenzo. Huge on defense for us. We lost him. But PJ Tucker stepped up. He helped us out. I know Kevin Durant had like his great games, but some of Game 4 that we won, he held KD under 230. Game 6, I believe he held KD under 30. I believe, don't count me on that. But he held KD under 30 for some games. He stepped up when we needed it. He made some clutch contests when we needed it. Like, he stepped up. Joe Harris didn't. Another person we're missing, Bobby Portis. He went out. What we did, we schemed better without Bobby Portis in the rotation. We had Lopez play more. We went small. And that was a great scheme by Budenholzer. I think Budenholzer secured his job as a Bucks head coach for a little bit longer with this win. I hate it. But he did it.
Yeah, I agree with that right there. I think he did secure his spot as the head coach for a little bit longer. As the Bucks head coach, I think unless you guys choke a big lead or get swept in the conference finals, which I mean the likelihood of that happening is kind of low, but we'll see. I don't I unless he has a big collapse in the conference finals, I think that even if you guys lose in a close series, he is the coach because it was times he had to make some adjustments
And
throughout
he
the
did.
playoffs.
He did.
And he did. Being down 0-2, everyone thought, "Oh, the Bucks are done. We're gonna count them out."
We're gonna gentlemen sweep them. Nets in 7. I saw so many Nets, not 7. Nets in 5. I saw so many of those.
Yeah, and you guys had to win 2 games in Milwaukee,
I held
and
out
then
hope. I did.
you guys, yep, and you guys tied up the series, man. You guys tied up the series, and Mike Budenholzer had to make some key adjustments, and he did so. He secured his job as the Bucks coach, definitely in this series. Giannis, doing what he did, had multiple double doubles, multiple 30 and 10
No. I want to say
game.
something. Since going down 0-2 from Game 3 to Game 7, Giannis had double-doubles in every single game. Giannis helped carry us to this victory. Giannis today only missed like 2 minutes of the game. He literally sweated his ass off this whole game. And he showed why he is our franchise guy today. He showed why he has that super mass, why he's that good. And I want to say this, KD is the best player in the world. I'm not going to deny that. But Giannis, I think he's a playoff player, like a playoff player after the series. What do you think?
Um, I think that it was only a matter of time where he put up a big performance in the playoffs. I don't think he was just gonna be a
Why?
bad playoff guy for his whole entire career. I mean, I don't think he was just gonna be an average playoff player. Great players, even though there are some like great players who just choke in the playoffs, but I don't think
James
Giannis
Harden.
would be the guy. I think that he'd really step up and be a good player in the playoffs and help you guys, potentially win a championship one day. And I mean, he's showing what he did in this series to help you guys win. I believe he had 40 points today,
Yeah,
and it was big in a game 7 where you really needed your star player to show up because you knew KD was going to show up. So
oh yeah,
Giannis had to match that or at least come somewhere close to that to put his team in a position to win, and he did exactly
he
what you
did.
guys needed to. Offensively and defensively, not really. He did take a couple of jump shots today. He made two of them, I
He made
believe.
two three
So,
pointers today. Yes, he did. He banked one and he
um,
swished one. That was such a
but
big win.
it was times, especially I like what he did in game 5 and 6, where he didn't force any jump shots. He kind of just let whatever happened come. And
Yeah.
also, shout out to Chris Middleton. He had an okay game this game. He had 23 points this game. But game 6, he really helped you guys
38.
tie. He helped
38.
you guys tie up the series, and that was really big for
That was
Chris
huge.
Middleton.
I also want to say
Drew
this. Go ahead,
Drew
go ahead.
Holiday was struggling a little bit, but at the end of the in the fourth quarter, Drew Holiday did hit a couple of key shots in the fourth quarter.
Drew Holiday came alive in the fourth quarter for sure. Fourth and OT. Because before that, like from the quarter 1 to 3, Drew Holiday was my bum game for Milwaukee. It was hard to pick a bum between Holiday and Tucker, but I picked Tucker because Tucker fouled up compared to Drew Holiday, who came alive in the fourth, hit two threes, had another jumper, had 12 points, and then on OT, I believe he had I think he had a 2. If not, he did not. I'm not positive, but
Hmm.
he also showed why we trade for him today, because the reason we traded Bledsoe for Holiday just for the defense, and
Hmm.
with the with like time running out in OT, who do you want taking that shot for Brooklyn? Who? Tell me.
Kevin Durant. I mean, well, if you're the Nets, you want KD taking the shot. But
Yeah,
if you're a Bucks,
and
you want
that's
Joe Harris.
oh yeah, we wanted Joe Harris, but KD took the shot
Hmm.
to win because he
Hmm.
had to take a 3. He did not have enough time to drive in for 2. He took the
Hmm.
shot, and Holiday was right in his face, contesting that shot the whole way, and he airballed a 3 from the top of the key. It wasn't like a deep 3 or nothing. It was right at the top of the key, and he airballed it because of Drew
Yep.
Holiday's defense.
Yeah, it was a good play right there by Holiday to not panic when he was on one of the best players in the NBA. He stayed. He stood his ground.
No,
He
not
made the
one of
best,
MG, not one of the
probably the
best,
best right
the
now,
best
putting
NBA
up
player.
all these performances. So you Holiday's guarded arguably the best player in the NBA and made a great contest. Did all he could on that play, and it was enough to get KD to not even hit the rim. So this was a great series. This is a perfect game 7 for a series that you wanted out of these two teams right here. Giannis showing up when he needed to, KD doing his thing, other guys on both teams doing well. So it was just amazing to see, man.
I'm
Just
I
just
hey,
it's amazing.
I have 2 things to say. One, we did it. We finally won a game 7 on the road. Holy fuck. Holy shit! For the people who do not know, before today, the Bucks were 2-8 in Game 7. Now they're 3-8 in Game 7, and we have our first Game 7 we won on the road. Because before that, the 2 Game 7s we won, we were at home. Never won a Game 7 on the road, and we did it. And another thing, we broke a curse as well. The Wisconsin curse. Ever since the Packers won the Super Bowl, all Wisconsin sports teams, and I mean every single Wisconsin sports teams, have not won a big game in the playoffs since the Packers Super Bowl. Tell me the last time the Bucks had a big one. Boston, overrated that year. Lost to the Raptors. Packers always lost in the playoffs. The Bucks finally beat a great team in the playoffs and broke the Wisconsin curse.
Well, there you go. So you guys won a big playoff game. Hasn't been done since 2010 in 11 years. Wisconsin sports has not seen a big win from their team. Not even the Brewers. The Brewers haven't won a big playoff
Nope.
series or nothing.
No. Brewers went to the conference finals both times. Lost it both times.
Wow. So
recently it was to the Dodgers.
Well, there you go. So
I
Wisconsin, you have the biggest playoff wins in your states.
I have to shave my head.
Yep, you do.
For people who do not know, I had to shave my head because after the Bucks went down 2-0, I went in the Sports Theories channel and said, if the Bucks make a 2-0 comeback in this series and win it, I will shave my head. So, I gotta shave my head now.
A bet's a bet. So you have to do what you have to do. But any last words about this series?
Hey, Nets fans, I'm gonna be talking my shit. I earned my word. But at the end of the day, GG. You guys have the best player in the NBA on your team. Best player in the world, basically. On your team, you have an amazing, offensive team. Offensive. I'm only saying offense for a reason. You gotta go out and improve that defense. You gotta. Your defense is why you lost. It's your defense. Improve that defense and you guys can make it. But fear the motherfucking deer, baby. Let's go! Now, MG, as the day we're recording it, the Sixers are set to play the Atlanta motherfucking Hawks. Can you do me a favor and lose? Can you please do me that favor and lose?
Well, I can't do that, but I have a question for you, actually.
Okay.
So, how did you feel leading up to your Game 7?
Nervous as fuck. I'm telling you this. I was nervous until that clock hit 0-0-0 in OT. You're going to be nervous. You're going to be antsy. You're going to be pacing. You're going to be hungry the whole game. It sucked. I hated it. I hated every moment of it.
Until the Bucks won.
Yes.
Okay.
Even when we were up at halftime. I mean, up after the third, I knew the Nets were force OT or win. I knew it.
Well, see, I'm pretty sure I already feel that way. I mean, dude, this is Game 7. This has been a crazy series. But I have a few things I want to say. So a lot of people saying, how the Sixers, we don't deserve to win this series, and a lot of people say, they want the Hawks to win, and a lot of people are just against the Sixers, and that's fine. And look, I'm not gonna come out here and guarantee any win. It's a Game 7 and a big series. Anything can happen. But you want to keep doubting us, do it. I mean, a lot of people. A lot of people do are against the Sixers this series, and
hey, can I get something out of the way quick?
Yeah.
I just want to say the only reason why I'm cheering against the Sixers is because I'd rather play Atlanta in the Eastern Conference. I'm not hating on the Sixers or nothing like that. I do not want to play Philly. I'm deadly scared of Philly. Anyways, continue.
But yeah, man, it's just a lot of people are against us. I mean, even some of our own fans are against us. So it's just crazy how, things change in a matter of time. And I get it, a lot of people think that we shouldn't have been in this position with the Hawks, but the bottom line is we're in this position right now. And look, to everyone who says you guys don't think we're gonna win this game, to everyone who says we shouldn't win this game, to everyone who says we're gonna get blown out or we're gonna lose, look, man, that might happen. It's a game 7. Like I said, anything happens. I don't want to hear any of you for the rest of as long as this Sixers team is assembled. I don't want to hear you praise us ever again. Just remember everything you said. Just remember, and if we lose, I'll be like, good job, you guys proved you guys' point. But if we win, I don't want to hear any Sixers praise from anyone who is saying all this stuff. Just I want everyone to keep the same energy. I'm gonna keep the same energy. When we lose, look, I'm same way. Look, you guys had it, but just keep the same energy, man. I just want everyone to keep the same energy. I'm not asking for anything. I'm not asking for people to cheer for us. I just want everyone to keep the same energy because what happens is with a lot of fans, they don't do that. They hop on whatever bandwagon is, whatever the great thing happening in whatever sport it is. Keep the same energy, man. Especially Sixers fans that were giving up on a team. I want y'all to keep y'all same energy
I want to
because
say
y'all
something
not even
about this
real
too.
fans.
After you're done, I have something I want to say too about this.
Nah, go ahead. I'm finished with that.
This relates to both of our teams. Because after we went down 2-0, I saw Bucks fans giving up. I did on Twitter. I was saying, bro, why are you giving up? Why? We're down 2-0. But if anyone can make a comeback against this team, this isn't the 2018 team where we have Eric Bledsoe as our point guard or we have Malcolm Brogdon as a shooting guard. I miss Brogdon. This team is different. The bench is better. Everything's better. We went down 2-0 in Brooklyn. It's not like we went down 2-0 in Milwaukee. We have 2 games coming up in Milwaukee, and that is huge. Like, home court is huge in the playoffs. Like, everyone
Hmm.
forgot about it this past year because of the bubble. And look at what happens when that happens. Teams like the Heat take advantage. Like, the playoffs are
Yeah.
huge. Home court advantage is huge. And, like, it, and I think people are going to be jumping on the Bucks bandwagon as well. Like, we just beat, like, what people say, the best team in the NBA in the Brooklyn Nets. We just beat them in the
Hmm.
7-game series. And people might be jumping on and saying, oh, I'm a Giannis fan. Oh, Giannis this, Giannis that. But were you there when we lost Miami in the bubble? Were you there when Kawhi upset us? Were you there when we were like the first pick for years, for a few years? Were you there when we were, like, lost to Boston in Game 7? No. And that's the problem I have with bandwagons. They weren't there to the pain, the awfulness of your teams. Like, I've seen that with the Brewers and the Bucks. I've not seen it with the Packers yet because when I was born, we had Brett Favre as a quarterback. Then we went to Aaron Rodgers, but I know the time is coming for the Packers. I do, and I'm not gonna be scared. I'm not gonna leave. I'm gonna stick to it because I'm loyal to my teams till the day I die. And last year the Badgers were shit. I didn't go to Alabama. I didn't.
Hmm.
Like,
It's just
it,
it is what it is, though,
it
bro.
just pisses me off to see these bandwagons. But how? What needs for you? What needs to happen for the Sixers to win tomorrow?
For the Sixers to win, we got to stay out of foul trouble. I think Ben Simmons is beginning foul trouble in the series. That's probably the reason why um, I've been a little bit frustrated with him in this series. So just stay out of foul trouble. That's number one. And if we do get a lead in this game, don't give them hope. As soon as we give them hope, they come back. As soon as we start letting up, as soon as we let them hit one shot, as soon as we do all these things, they start to come back. So just stay disciplined, don't get in foul trouble, and play our game. If we play our game, we're one of the best teams in the NBA. We've showed it all year that we can be one of the most dominant teams if we just play our game. We don't switch up our strategy. We don't switch up our scheme. We do what we do. We we do what we do to win games, man. We do what we do to win games. I believe that we have the better team. We have the home crowd advantage. Are in a big game 7 in Philly, and it's a lot of momentum going after this game 6 win in Atlanta. A lot of confidence our players should have because we got a game in Atlanta. Winning game 6 in Atlanta was very big because we needed confidence going home to close out this series. So I think we just need to keep the confidence, stay out of foul trouble, and play our game, and we will be able to defeat this team. We know Trey Young's an amazing player. We know how great the Hawks have been playing this series. But if we play our game and we stay out of foul trouble, we stay disciplined,
Mm-hmm.
the Sixers very well win this game.
Yeah, I agree. Like, totally. Game 6 was huge for both of our teams, I believe. Like, I know the Sixers haven't played before this, but taking the win on the road was huge. You're down
Yeah.
3-2 in Atlanta. Atlanta had the perfect opportunity to win. They couldn't get it
Yeah.
done. That's huge. And with the Bucks, we took it game 6 at home, giving the team energy heading into Brooklyn, and we saw what happened. Can you guys take advantage of that energy that you took from Atlanta and bring it home? That we'll find out.
Yeah. And if we lose, I mean, I don't know how my reaction will be. I don't know if I'm gonna be like mad, sad, or probably a combination of both. But hey, man, I do believe if we do certain things, we can win this game, man. So we just have to play like we want it. So it's gonna be interesting, man. And yo, if we get Sixers and Bucks
You want to do a bet?
in and if we get Sixers and Bucks, we'll talk about this more. But by next episode, we can have some
Oh,
type of bet
if
going.
if we're
And
doing if it's Sixers off, keep an eye out for some collab streams coming up.
yeah, that too as well. So it's a lot of interesting things there. But we talked about every second round series. We've obviously haven't posted in 2 weeks, so it's a lot of things we caught up in the second round. But question: we got one conference final at the time of this recording. Like I said, we have one conference final match. Who do you have in this series? Suns, Clippers.
Both without their superstars game 1. I want to get that clear.
Yep.
Both without their superstar. Oof, that's a tough one. Because 2 curses were broken: the Jenner and the Clipper.
Yeah.
I'm going with Devin Booker and the Phoenix
Oh,
Suns to win. Devin
okay.
Booker has been amazing this playoff. He's been blowing my mind how good he's been playing. And
Uh
I'm
huh.
just thinking he's been playing this good. He's taking the momentum he got from the bubble last year. How they almost made the playoffs last year. You're welcome,
Yep.
Phoenix Suns fans. You're welcome. We were the reason
Mm,
why they didn't make it because we lost to Memphis. If they would have if we would have beat Memphis last year, they would have been in it last year. But hey, Suns fan,
mm-hmm.
you're welcome for that. But I think Devin Booker is taking what he did last year and amplifying it times 10 in this year's playoff. I think he's out there looking. I'm going Suns in this, and I think the Suns go to the finals. And
How many
QC,
games?
6. I'm going Suns in 6. I think they're gonna
Uh,
take it. I think they're gonna take an L this one because they're without Chris Paul, their main
mm-hmm.
guy, because the Clippers already adjusted without Kawhi. I
Mm-hmm.
think they're gonna rebound at game 2, win that, take 1 in LA on game 4, up 2-1. But the Clippers tie it game 4, and I think they take it game 6. No, game 5 and game 6.
I'm gonna go Suns and 6 as well. And I actually agree that they lose the first game. and I think they lose a game in LA, game 3 and game 4. I don't know which game, but I think they do lose one of them.
I think it's game
But I
3.
think if Chris Paul gets back, I think the Suns do ultimately
Win.
win the
Yeah.
series.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, Kawhi, we have no idea. Chris Paul,
Mm.
I believe if they do force, like, it past 4, they will at least get one game with him.
Oh, they'll play. He'll get a few games.
Yeah, he'll
With
get
the
a few
Suns.
games if they can get past 4 games. He will.
Yep. Well,
But, hey, anything else you want to speak of before we
um,
do the outro?
nothing really. I mean, we talk about everything. Also, do say we could actually in the next few days get an update about Chris Paul. He is still in
Really?
quarantine, but since he got the vaccine, he'll be able to come back faster than most people that caught the case. So in the NBA's original guidelines, you had the quarantine for 14 days, but with him having the vaccine, it might be less time for Chris Paul. So
Hey, we'll see.
if he comes back a little bit earlier, don't be surprised.
Hey, but you want to say your final words?
Um, well, hopefully, knock on wood, we beat the Hawks, and I get to be happy moving on. Also, make sure you check out our channels. Still have content for both of us and our about our teams in the next few days. So make sure you guys hit the link down below to go subscribe to our YouTube channels. Esports Talk, Talking Sports with MG Nas.
Isaiah
Also,
will also be in there too, so go check him out as
yep,
well.
yeah, yep. Make sure you go check out Isaiah as well. Um, also, hopefully your guys' team, unless you're a Hawks fan, hopefully your guys' team do well in the playoffs. If you have a playoff
Yeah,
team, and if your team's not in the playoffs, hopefully you get there
if
next
your
year.
team's on to the playoffs, imagine not being in the conference finals. Okay, but
That's
that
tough.
is tough, and I can say that because we are in it. But
But other
anyways,
than that, man,
you
it's
can sign
it's
up.
other than that, I do want to say to everyone in the chat that's in the premiere chat and you watch to this point in the premiere chat, or if you're watching on the replay, that we appreciate you for sticking out throughout the whole episode. Um, and if you made it this far in the episode, you're a legend, man. So shout out to you. Shout out to everyone in the premiere chat. Shout out to everyone watching on the replay. Shout out to everyone liking, commenting, continuing to support the channel. Everyone is accepted here, unless you're a Boston Celtics fan. Wait, what?
And
Nah,
bye.
but anyways, it's your co-host MG Nods. Until next time on next week's episode.
We're
Bye
hopefully as
bye.
Isaiah's back, but
Hopefully.
anyways, guys, I'm your host B. And if you guys haven't already, like MG said, go check out all of our channels. I just hit 260. I hit 200. Let's get MG to 600. Let's get Isaiah to 1.1. Go check us out. Go sub. Let's do this, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get me to 300. Let's get MG to 600 and Isaiah to 1.1. We are on the road. We are a young steam train moving fast. So get on it before it's too late.
Yes, sir.
Get on it. And I want to keep a little tradition that Isaiah does. As always, bits off, cunts.